it.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, trophy hunters of all ages. This is the 27th episode of the Raw Cuts Gaming Podcast.
Woo!
You have money, baby.
Very timely, Woodsy. Ooh, looking good tonight, big dog. So, I'm your host tonight, CJ, aka the Solo Gamer, aka the Trophy Hunter. And I'm joined by Mr. Clothing Optional himself. He's definitely not a noob when coming to the old gaming. Big D, aka the Naked Gamer.
Love you
Big
all.
D. And we're joined by the hot taking, Twitter beef making, chain wearing, gamer mediocre himself, Woodsy, aka the Mavs.
Hey, everybody. How are you?
We thank you, the listener, for tuning in to all of our hot takes in all things video games. As always, we bring you our own unique takes in all things video games, all while recording and publishing our episodes edit-free. We bring you all of our podcasts, you all listening staples every Tuesday. You can find the show on Apple, Spotify, Google, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and Anchor. And if you want to watch our Ugly Mugs for a reason, you can catch us on YouTube, Raw Cuts Gaming, or if you're savvy enough, at some point you can catch us on the old Twitches when Woodsy gives his old pile of shame update maybe later tonight. A little sexy treat for you guys. So that all being said, this week we'll be getting to what we've been playing, the week in gaming, and we'll catch up on what you've been smoking with the old chefs here, and hopefully get an update on that pile of shame from Woodsy. So, that being said, Big D, what have you been playing?
More of the same. Some Ghost of Tsushima, and then Rocket League in between, and then helping my boy with our old march towards 100% on Astrobot VR. So, getting there. So
How's that coming?
Good. We're in the challenge belt. So we've found all the bots and chameleons in all 5 worlds, beaten all the bosses, and now we're making our way around the final 26 challenges where there's time challenges and you got to go back and beat all the bosses again without getting touched. Yeah, some of those were. There's a big shark one in the VR worlds that just sucks balls. For getting hit. But we made it through. So we got all the bosses done. Now we're just doing a lot of the time trial runs, which some of those aren't super fun either.
Time trials are like one of my biggest points of
Yeah.
requires very twitchy reflexes and very precise movements, and I'm always not so great at that. Driving ones particularly.
Yeah, it's just a lot of practice thing, and at some point with some of those we'll probably have to go watch the videos. So
yeah.
That's me.
And tricks. Woodsy, aka the Mav. What have you been playing this week?
Well, you know I've been doing my damnedest to kill as many Mongols as possible in Ghost of Tsushima. doing the Lord's work, Buddha's work. Not at all, but hey.
It's close.
Yeah. And in addition, I've been playing some Call of Duty, Rocket League, and all the hits. But I also this week, for the first time ever, tried out Overwatch.
Oh wow! Okay.
We did play a few rounds of Overwatch.
We're playing some Overwatch, and gotta say, I can see how that game got popular real fast. One thing that Ryan did not undersell at all is how simplistic it is from a controlling, controlling button mapping, a number of buttons or actions you can do in the game itself. And then, you just kind of have a role on the team, and it's about understanding your characters and kind of what obviously the role of it is, and that character's strengths and weaknesses, so on and so forth. So yeah, real interesting game. The gunplay is great. It would have to be for a game like that. And it's simple. It's fun. The only thing I guess on my first playthrough of it, which is it's kind of the nature of the game itself. I wish the matches were a little shorter in some ways.
They are. Some of those are pretty epic. They'll go on forever and ever and ever.
They get long. So it's got that just one more vibe almost for me. It's just each match is too long to have that.
Yeah, it is a little easier to set it down.
Right.
When you're like, this is my last one.
Right.
How is it coming in as a newbie?
I did good in the matches I was playing in. Despite I was a tank every single time, and I don't know the names of the dudes, but I was like 3 or 4. I tried out 3 or 4 different tanks. I did like 2 rounds with 3 of them, and then 1 round with just this other random one I tried. And it was fun. They all had, I could see how like each of them could be used in concert with, a certain play style, so on and so forth. It was good. I liked it. So, and then lastly, Ben, I sure as fuck am not planning on having King James's portrait tatted on my derriere. So I've been playing that Crash Team Racing. Currently going through the campaign mode or whatever it is.
Is there a campaign mode?
Yeah, it's like a sort of one. It's just like complete all of this stuff, right? So it's fun though. I'll talk about it more when we get to
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out any angle I can get to get James's face tattooed on your ass. So.
Can we do James on one ass cheek and then Peyton Manning on the other?
Oh my God!
Really?
No.
Maybe them high fiving over the
crescent. Yeah, no, not at all.
So I've had family in town this past week, so I haven't been on the sticks much again. Although I'm very anxious to hop back on as soon as possible when I get some more time coming up here. But I have been kind of getting on Ghosts when I can. So I just doing.
I was wondering when you were going to figure that out.
I just Ghost and y'all. Nothing new to report. Just the side missions are kind of fun. My video's acting up here. I apologize.
So what act are you in?
Still in Act 1, man. Fuck my video. I'm still in Act 1. I've been doing all the side content for the most part. So I've been basically avoiding all the gold, gold path items. So I just did a mission where I had to hide in a salt barrel, and it's just funny because Jen's like, "This salt barrel smells like shit. It smells like your breath." And the guy's like, "It didn't unload itself." It's just kind of like these little touches they put onto the side missions, that really kind of give it personality and character. And then,
what's that guy's name? Like Taki? He's the sake guy.
Yeah, he has this big old. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who's great.
He had this mission to go hide in the salt barrel to go invade some Mongols, and you find out he was actually giving wood pellets to the Mongols, and they came to capture folks and whatnot. And
given that you are, I'm assuming you're going to try to platinum this. Ain't no way I can have a platinum that you don't have, right? Because
maybe.
Yeah. I wish I could see your face right now, but your camera's all jacked up.
Yeah.
But
what's going on here?
You're it's the way you're doing it is good though, because then you'll never have to go. You'll have 1 or 2 incentives to go back to those islands later, but you won't have to go back and then clear a bunch of shit out.
Exactly, and that's exactly why I'm doing it. And kind of to get to your point of one more, it's like one more question mark, one more tale, one more story, because they're not long, and you can warp yourself around the map really, really quickly. So it kind of has that one more kind of mentality about it also.
I know. Many nights where I was like, I'll just do one more, starting at
it's a very
10:30 at night,
risky game.
And by the time I did my last, just one more little thing, 2 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. You got a meeting at 7 a.m. or whatever with the devs. Yeah, totally understand that mentality with this game. So more Ghosts. I hope to be playing more and more. Hitman 3 comes out this week as of recording in 2
2
days.
days.
Although I do not plan to play it. I don't like playing these big single player narrative games simultaneously. I really like getting controls, like getting in touch with the controls and getting that scheme down. I find a lot of times I'm jumping between games. A lot of times I get the buttons mixed up, and I just want to really focus on one, beat the shit out of it, close that book, and move on. So, as many of you listeners out there know, I talk up Hitman left and right, but I probably won't be playing that, even though I pre-ordered it until until I close the book of Ghosts per se.
Well,
So.
I'm excited. I'm very excited for Hitman 3, man. I am.
I managed to work in a Hitman 3 story in here, so.
You know what I forget though, like, because you know how they have the multiplayer in 2. Is there a multiplayer component in 3 as well, or not so much? Because there's the sniper, those weird sniper missions.
Elite. Yeah, there's not, from what I understand.
There's no multiplayer in this one.
But from all intents and purposes, they'll at least have the multiplayer from 2 in there. It sounds like, obviously,
right?
The IO packing everything in there. So no new missions from Sniper Elite 3. Although I wouldn't rule it out, because it's all in there essentially with 2.
Hitman.
So DLC, and they earned our money. So we'll see. So that kind of wraps up what we've been playing. So let's get into the news, boys. We have another kind of jam-packed news week. The long rumored Switch Pro, we've touched on the show multiple times, but it's sounding more and more likely to be coming to life. So Woodsy, did you see this article from this Tom's Guide about the Switch Pro?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of leaks, right, that have dropped over the last few weeks. And the Tom's Guide one it was just a coverage article of the original leak. But then IGN came out, right, today, and more or less, if IGN is reporting it, it's probably going to happen. And it looks interesting. It'll be interesting to see, because they have a lot of details on specs, which gives it credibility, but also makes me, because there's rumors of it being crazy, like actually kind of high end, and then there's rumors of it being just a slight minor upgrades, like the battery into the screen, nothing really to do with the processor or video memory. So it'll be interesting to see where on the scale of upgrade it lies, and then the price point that they try to come into the market with. Will they drop the OG Switch down to $199 and rock this thing at $299, or will they try to go after the quote unquote bigger boys at the $399 price point?
So one of the rumors in that Tom's League article did say that they're forecasting, if they're going with the direction they want to go, is $400 for the Pro.
Yeah.
The OLED display, the 4K resolution support, improved battery life. And it sounds like
that would be the one that's just slightly better on performance, right? We're not talking like it's got the 4K screen and things like that, but it's
the OLED.
It's not
Probably they'll reduce the screen size. Even though the form factor might stay the same, they may reduce the bevel around the screen and whatnot to give you slightly bigger screen. But it sounds like they want to go for the big guys with that price point of $400. So that's really
and there are other rumors though that point at it to be an actually a new custom CPU GPU combo.
And that would be in line with them going for that $400
with a built-in like SSD of like 500 gigabytes. So wherever it falls on that spectrum will be interesting.
Yes, agreed.
And so the other rumor tied in with that is this year, it sounds like, potentially 2021. I would imagine it'd be the back half of the year, if anything. I don't think it's anything imminent. But yeah, any interest in you? I'm a Switch owner. I don't plan on buying one. I don't buy my Switch for the third party games. I like having my Dark Souls on there, so I can have infinite Dark Souls, and Hitman's actually going to be on there. You're going to need to have it always connected to the internet to play it. But I don't have any real interest in the Pro. Woodsy, you are a non-Switch owner. Any interest in buying the Pro?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna get a Switch. I always was going to get a Switch, but I always just assumed they would come out with a Pro version, and then I'd wait till then to either A, get the Pro version, or decide for the if it really is $400, like how much really is it better than the OG Switch? If it's just slightly bigger battery and an OLED screen, probably just gonna get the OG. I don't want the light. I want to be able to dock
Don't buy
it.
it. Don't buy the light. Don't buy the light.
No.
Do you any interest from you at all? Now that you're a Switch owner and
I'm kind of in Woods' camp here. If it's going to depend on how serious of an upgrade it is. Don't really give two shits about the screen. We don't really use ours for mobile at the moment. It's connected to the 75-inch TV, so that part I couldn't care less about. But I also don't use it for the third-party games, so that's what I have a PS5 for. So we'll really have to see if it's tied to any Nintendo IP that will play
only work on it
on the new one. So
yeah.
So breaking news, you kind of let the cat out of the bag there. You have a PS5.
Oh, it's true. CJ got me a PS5. It's up and running. Yes. So
congratulations.
thank you. It
Welcome
was,
to the
super easy. So you guys did not undersell that part. So I just evacuated to my external. Pretty much waited for the PS5 to boot up and do its software updates and shit, and then I just plugged it in and everything was good to go. It was pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was nuts, and it even like started updating some games that the PS4 missed. So
yeah.
They finally
do that.
Well,
Yeah.
I freaked out for a second because all of a sudden I saw there was like 8 things downloading. And I was like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I thought it started like re-downloading all my games. And then it was like, oh no, it's just like 8 games that you're updating.
Right.
So I know you and Jake are on the hunt for that platinum in the VR, but have you guys booted up Playroom yet or no?
No, I didn't want to move to that till we got our trophy. Because otherwise,
Yeah, that's a
I
good
had a
call.
feeling
'cause-
we'd be playing that.
yeah, that's a good call. But that game will really show you kind of where they envision.
CJ's just grooming another trophy hunter over
I
here.
know. I'm excited for him to get in there because
He's gonna be standing behind him like Joe Biden.
We did get to see him for a little bit this past weekend. So Hannah was like, my daughter was so excited. She's like, I want to tell him all about Astro's Playroom, and I heard he's playing Astro, and I'm all excited to talk about him with Playroom. So it's kind of fun to see that next generation kind of get into it a bit.
Starting to get into games. Yeah, it's cool.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
So next is the infamous Cyberpunk, who also can't seem to stay out of the news. Today, I think, as of recording, it marks the 1 month anniversary of sorts of the game getting yanked off the PSN. And last week they came out and issued an apology. Did you guys get a chance to watch their apology / explanation /
I didn't even bother because honestly, it would probably just inflame me more because it's just a bunch of PR bullshit and lies. So they did it because
it's
money.
a propaganda video.
If the only answer that comes out of that dude's mouth, and it isn't, we did it for money and more profits and higher profit margins, then he's full of shit. Yeah. And I know he didn't come out and say that, so it just pissed me off.
Yeah. Why can't these guys just be honest? Our shareholders, someone was informing the shareholders at the board of directors that this shit was not ready and it was probably going to fuck up. And then someone at the board of directors also said, I don't care. We're going to lose money if we don't launch now.
Is that what actually happened too? Or you just
I know large corporations.
Right.
This is exactly what happens with literally everything.
Right. Yeah.
There's one guy in the room that usually has big enough nuts to be like, "Hey guys, I don't think this is a good idea." Then everyone else goes, "Money."
There was not a whole lot of note that came out. A couple pieces I wanted to touch on was they kind of threw QA under the bus, which he tried to come out and say that their QA members did not experience many of the issues that a lot of players experienced, which was kind of one of the biggest
pro bus trucker there.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like there's no way. Because I mean,
were they only testing it on PCs?
even like because I was listening to a few talk shows and they were saying that even the PCs are experiencing similar problems.
Shit.
So
Well,
there's no way that, and the problems are so consistent across the board. It's not like someone goes in a corner and punches a corner 15 times, all of a sudden he falls through the level. It's like game breaking bugs. So that was a load of shit. Another likely load of shit was that they said that they're anticipating the patch to come out in Q3 of this year.
For next gen?
The next gen patch.
Yeah, so
which means, I mean, sweet, I'm waiting till fucking fall to play Cyberpunk.
Well,
not that I care.
Even then, I would wait until, because that's going to come out. That's going to be probably buggy.
Oh, right. Well, yeah. So, I won't buy it till Black Friday sales of next year.
Yeah, it is on sale for $30 right now if you want to buy it and squat on it for a year. I would not recommend doing that just because you can probably buy it for $15 or so.
I was going to say when no one's buying it because we're all waiting for patches.
And they're going to be releasing $10. Essentially re-releasing the game for free because they said that you get the next gen patch for free. Essentially,
my guess would be it does the No Man's Sky route. Like you're going to see it for super duper cheap until, like Wood said, like Black Friday, somewhere around this holiday in fall when everything's finally fixed and the game starts getting better. Then they'll jack it back up to $40.
Yeah, so it's kind of
because it's not even on the PlayStation store yet, right? This is like Best Buy selling hard copies and shit, right?
Yeah,
it's got to be hard copy.
You're gonna have to kind of play the waiting game of finding that right price point for you if you want to buy it and squat on it. Because you're right, D. That's the exact same thing No Man's Sky did. It was on sale for like $8 for a while, and then all of a sudden they patched it and it was really awesome, and they jacked the price back up, rightfully so. But jacked for the price back up to $30 or $40. So
I rebought it for $30. So I had the digital one. That was one of my only discs I had. Yeah.
So the thing that I guess that almost frustrates me most about the whole situation with Cyberpunk actually is that they also promised to do a big upgrade for the PS5 for The Witcher 3, right? And so ever since I had heard that news some odd months ago, I've been holding out playing that game as well.
Yeah, you're not getting that anytime soon.
Yeah, I know.
So Cyberpunk just can't, and then now they're in a mudslinging contest with Jason Schreier about he said, she said, and they're fighting over what languages people are speaking in meetings, and it's just getting kind of ugly. So not a good look for the old CD Projekt Red right now. In other news, Capcom has come out and they have a Resident Evil showcase set for a couple days from now on January 21st. So look for that on January 21st at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It sounds like they'll be giving their big dump on the latest Resident Evil game, Resident Evil Village, VII 8 or whatever. So guys, any interest in the Resident Evil Village streaming, D?
Not here. Not I.
Was he?
I mean, I'm still interested in playing 7, but that was just a little, maybe not in VR. It was a little intense in VR.
Played in VR. I had a good time. Actually, that was one of the things that hopped on you with the Pile of Shame. Now it's on my personal Pile of Shame and played through it first person, which I don't normally do. I managed to get through it without getting too dizzy and whatnot playing it. But I am looking forward to it. Although this is in first person also. What I'm more interested in, though, is that there's rumors that there's going to be more.
It's basically confirmed at this point.
Resident Evil 4 remake. So any people who listen to this show know I adore 2 and 3. Resident Evil 4, I remember playing back in college, and I loved that game. That was probably the only Resident Evil game I played, so I'm very much so looking forward to what they're
What did you play that on? Did you play it like the whole complete crazy edition with like all the weird multiplayer modes and extra game modes, or did you just play it on GameCube?
I don't think it was on. I thought it was on. Did that ever come to 64? I remember playing it in,
I don't know
in
if it did.
our place together. It was you when we lived together with the other two guys, Pat and
It
Tom.
must have been on.
But I don't.
It must
I
have been
didn't have
on
a game.
GameCube.
I didn't
No,
have
it
a
was on
GameCube.
PlayStation. It was on PlayStation.
It must have been on
Yeah.
PlayStation then, because I didn't have a GameCube. So, but I do remember playing that and really liking it back then. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I will be our live reporter, I guess, on the show next week about what comes out of it. So we'll see. So last week we reported that EA was it EA has lost the
Star
exclusivity
Wars
rights
exclusivity.
to Star Wars, but it sounds like they'll still be making games.
Yeah.
So any you guys see this about EA going to be continuing making games beyond their exclusivity window?
I did, and it's a good thing. So this'll it'll force them to start making good games, which should happen with some of EA's other franchises. But
Well,
but they won't be able to rely on people only having one spot to get Star Wars games and
Yeah.
counting on that income. Because
the competition will be good.
correct.
And they started out very terribly with that license, right? The cancellation of
Amy
the one
Henning's game.
1313, right? And then
Yeah, that
Star Wars
was
Battlefront
exciting.
1 was a terrible game that they thought they learned their lessons from, and then they definitely didn't with 2 when that was first released. But they've really turned it around as a publisher of that license, though, in the last 3 years, between really putting the foot on the gas with the free content for Battlefront 2. I mean, that is a good game. That is a really solid game with a ton of content now. And Fallen Order was amazing. And now you have the Squadrons, which is also amazing. So I agree. I'm glad it's continued for EA because they kind of were starting to find their groove with it a little bit, or at least they got yelled at enough in the beginning.
Or about midway through, they got threatened with not being able to renew the exclusivity license.
Yeah.
And then they got their shit together.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
And then they yanked it from them anyway. So good on LucasArts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also excited. I'm glad that I'm also glad that they're still making the games because you're right, Woodsy. Fallen Order. I'm glad that they'll be able to continue that series. Hopefully, they no spoilers, but they leave that open for sequels.
Well, and
it's
hard, you'd be hard pressed to find a publisher that across the board makes better open world Star Wars games than Ubisoft. So I'm really banking on that open world game that they have in development with the Star Wars license to be fucking like Assassin's level Creed dope, but times like 3. So
yeah.
Same.
Yeah. So the NPD came out and released the top 20 game sales of last year. I thought kind of some interesting nuggets out of this one. So I won't run down the whole list, but Call of Duty took the top 2 spots with Cold War and Modern Warfare. Then Animal Crossing, Madden, Assassin's Creed, Last of Us, Ghosts, Mario Kart 8, Mario 3D All-Stars, and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Of note, the Nintendo games don't report the digital sales, so those games likely would have been much higher, although I don't know how high Call of Duty was compared to the other ones. But Ghost of Tsushima, very strong showing for a new IP, coming in at number 7. And, man,
it's the best It's the best selling of all of their original IP. I thought I read that somewhere. That came out this generation. I think
for the
yeah. Does that not
Oh,
count
or
with The
maybe it
Last
was
of Us?
just Insomniac's
Like a
best
new
one
IP
ever.
or something, yeah.
Yeah,
But it sold extremely well. So I've seen it it's kind of been making the circles again, because I've been playing it. I've been kind of seeing it resurface, but a lot of personalities are coming out and saying, hey, this game sold really well. It reviewed really well, but this game may even be underrated as a game, it's still not getting quite the publicity it deserves. So, I wanted to, make note of that. So, anything of interest to you guys at all in this top 20 of sales from last year?
No,
Nothing
I mean
surprising
it's
in there.
always going to be Call of Duty, and
Man,
Grand Theft Auto 5 is apparently going to just be on that list forever until Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, maybe.
FIFA and NBA
Oh.
2K both making the top 15.
Yeah.
Avengers coming in at 11. Now, I
That
know,
that was, I think, the surprising one I see on there. That's about
Yeah.
the only one that's for all the heat that's gotten and the ho hum reviews.
is maligned
That
exactly
is
as it was.
in the
You don't hear a
middle.
whole lot of people talking about it. I know Greg Miller on Kind of Funny likes to pimp that game, but I don't hear hardly anyone else talking about it. It doesn't feel like it has any buzz. But that Marvel IP is pretty strong.
Here's a question I do have about it, and it actually is kind of surprising at this point with Grand Theft Auto 5, right? It's fucking 2021 now. If you didn't buy that fucking game, how the fuck have you not played this game? Who's buying this game anymore? Who the fuck are these
I
people?
don't know who doesn't have it.
Like parents who or kids with parents who are very strict about video games in the house. They all turn 18 and go buy Grand Theft Auto 5. What the fuck is happening?
That is a good question. Yeah, and what did they layer in the shark cards and stuff?
I was just gonna ask that if their sales are actual copies of the game or if they're counting sales of the shark cards.
Yeah, because I don't see it on GTA.
No,
on
it's
this list.
game units. It's definitely game units.
okay.
That's not a revenue because it's just a revenue question. That's game units. So, which is just nuts. It's just nuts. I mean, I went from the physical to the digital,
Yeah.
and then I guess I owned it for Xbox 360 and then PS4 and then the digital on the PS4. So I have purchased that game 3 times over the course of 7 years. It's just nuts.
Dragon Ball Z Kakarot also coming in at number 17, kind of, another fighting game kind of community, but standing out kind of strong there. So.
Well, that was their RPG, right? But it was apparently just samey all over the board.
Yeah. So the old NPD sales are out for last year. Let's see here. Speaking of GTA, here's a little bit of any morsel of news coming out of Rockstar, but they filed a patent for NPC tech. It deals with managing NPC navigation, specifically referring to like vehicle road routes and behavior, which in playing a heist that could drastically be improved, hopefully. But people are pointing to, hey, could this be used in the GTA 6? Did you guys see anything about the patents coming out from Rockstar? What's your D?
I did not read this one.
I did read about that. It sounds cool. It's just how well will it actually work in practice, right? As I'm sure people's expectations or whatever are going to probably outweigh what it's actually going to do.
I'm curious to see like what kind is in this patent. Like what could be patenting about NPC tech and what does that exactly mean? But everyone, if it could lead to a new GTA, that's pretty exciting. And what route do they go? If it's new pathing and whatnot, do they do is it not set in modern times? Is it set?
Here's the question that you're not asking though, is if this patent is about AI technology that they're planning on using in Grand Theft Auto 3 for their NPCs, I feel like that game isn't anywhere close.
Yeah, probably not.
No,
So I'm just reading it right now. It has to do with all of the people driving cars on the road. So it's detailing a more immersive experience when you're driving instead of them just being cholos getting in your way.
I think that was just like a actual example. One of the things it was going to bring to the overall individualistic personality AI that they seem to be going for. But it makes me think that we won't even see a trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 for at least 2 years yet.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're going to milk that.
They're going to milk, as you said, it's one of the best selling games, and they're going to continue to milk those shark cards for as long as they can. Specifically with them re-releasing the online mode or whatever, they've been pimping that out for PS5. So nowhere near anytime soon, but kind of fun to see that they are working on it, and likely so.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Sony, they have a mysterious new studio forming in in San Diego. Not Sony San Diego. Another new studio being formed there. Where does this comes from GamesRadar.com, and it was someone from like a Reddit thread, like sifting through someone's LinkedIn profile to find that they left Sony Studio, and within his profile, he talks about how he goes on to form a new studio in San Diego. It's been long rumored, but it sounds like this studio is going to be focused on taking existing IP and creating new content from it. So the thought there is that they are going to take the Uncharted mantle and make new Uncharted games, which more importantly would then free up Naughty Dog to work on something new. What are you guys' thoughts on a new studio taking over the mantle of some of their existing IPs, allowing the kind of big dogs, per se, pun intended, to take on new IP?
Well, it'll be interesting how they use the IP, right? Will it be just like a clone Uncharted game, or will they use the IP of the overall game world and the characters or whatever else and make a fucking first-person shooter out of it, right? Like,
completely different, yeah.
Yeah. So, who knows? It'll be interesting.
I like the idea of Naughty Dog kind of stretching their wings a bit, because I know that they said they were kind of done with Uncharted, and Last of Us. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys from it, but I think it would be good for them to take a new IP and kind of flesh it out. So as well as done with both of those IPs. So yeah,
I'd like to see them try a different genre.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot of people float that around. What would you want to see out of Naughty Dog?
I don't know. I want to be surprised. I mean, look at how good a number of studios under the Sony title have been at really stepping out of their original comfort zone. I mean, Guerrilla with Horizon Zero Dawn is an obvious example, as is Insomniac with I'm losing it. Yep.
Sunset Overdrive.
And then you got the guys who made Days Gone. That was like their first game.
Sony Bend, yeah.
Yeah. Or was that their first game? They did other stuff.
No, they did other stuff, but that was kind of their first foray into that genre.
And then even though, the folks behind Ghost of Tsushima had made the name of that other series where the lightning and
Infamous,
thank you. I would say Ghost of Tsushima is a huge diversion from what they were doing with that game series. So it'd be cool. We just talked about the other week, right? Like kind of wanting to see a little bit more diversity over the style of games that Sony is pushing out. This could be their opportunity to take what is a known, liked, and popular IP and give it a different spin.
Yeah, or keep it alive. It's going to depend on how they utilize this as a system, but I like the idea of being able to take some of the already created IP and keep it alive in a different studio house, in-house. It'd be cool if they partnered with some indie people with that too and brought them in the mix, and then you free up, like you guys said, those big guys should just be out developing new IP. Because then once that's done, those same guys shouldn't be wasting all their talent just reskinning it for a number 2.
And that's a very, very good point. That's a really good point because, at the end of the day, you definitely do want your quote-unquote diamond status studios developing new IP almost all the time, because that new IP that gets popular is like your lifeblood.
Right.
So
it's only so often you can go back to the well,
Correct.
Some other stuff.
Yep.
So.
And then the thing is, if you go back to the well with a cheaper studio,
it's okay.
So, and then if it sucks,
right. Then they kill off that franchise.
Yeah.
They just let it go.
So, Just a little heads up PSA for you guys out there. Assassin's Creed Valhalla's latest patch that just got pushed out has a face breaking bug. So Assassin's Creed Unity, I think
Like
what
a
it was,
face.
that had the famous face breaking bugs and at launch. But it sounds like this latest patch is screwing up some folks' games. So just be careful with your latest patches on the old Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I know that none of us are really playing it, so not a lot to say there probably for us. But I do want to talk about Harry Potter. Harry Potter got pushed until 2022. We're all here unanimously pretty much saying that any delay is a good delay, and none of us are really clamoring for the Harry Potter game. But we did touch on Cyberpunk earlier and how, specifically the old last gen of gaming, PS4, Xbox One generation, really is causing it some headaches. I'd imagine this is probably causing some problems too, because they've came on record saying that this will be a cross-gen game. So what I wanted to ask you guys was, because we're all in agreement that, hey, delay the game as long as you want. None of us really here to play it anyway, but put out a good game and we'll be more happy than rushing out till this year. When do developers cut the cord on last gen development?
And it's interesting that you say that this is really the update. Is that was almost bearing the lead for me, was that it's still going to be a cross-gen title in 2023.
11 years after tech was finished, or at least close to being finished with the last gen of gaming.
So I don't know. Would I be surprised if they pulled it, especially if console sales for the current sale would just go up and up and up? No.
And that especially with teams punting games out further and further. I mean, it's already said it's delayed essentially at least a year. Right now we're in January of 21. They're saying, hey, not till 2022. Now, I don't know exactly when they're forecasting the release date. So, but at least a year from now.
My guess is at least 2023. You won't see that game going.
And so then how far do devs keep punting out this ball? Then all of a sudden it's 2022, 2023, and they're like, well, hey,
why bother?
We're not even going to bother with this last gen. It's like when the last big one I remember that came out, I know Persona 5 came out cross-gen, but the last big one that I remember that kind of came out was it Metal Gear Solid 5.
Well, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Well, that was a forward one, so right? That was a game developed forward. But I don't know when we need to pull this plug and say, hey, I know that we've sold 100+ million units of PS4 out in the wild. There's 34 million Xboxes out there. But when do we say that we're hampering our development enough that it's not worth it for us to put out a last gen game?
Well, I still get, we talked about this on an earlier show, I still get confused where we have studios like Project Red that rush shit out that's not done, but then we have situations like this where perhaps the next gen edition is done, but the old stuff is not, and I don't know.
Well, that comes down to one thing and one thing only: money.
Well, right, but why couldn't you split release it? That's the part I don't get. Like, if the next gen's done now, release it, start making your money, and then you could bring in people to finish up the ports for the old gen. Like, because then you're already making your money in. That's the part that I get confused on. So if this is really causing that much strife, then I'd pull that ripcord now. Just because that's the way it was in the old days. Like, I mean, holy Christ, you barely got enough time to get the new console before the studios stopped making them for the old consoles.
Right.
This bullshit where we got to make them for 5 years on the old console. Like,
that's what I don't want. I think I underestimated game because I was like, oh, it'll be a cross-gen version, it'll be fine. They'll make it, up-res it and whatnot. But in playing Demon Souls and then playing even games like, oh, there I go again. Ghosts, which is a PS4 game. Now it has some patches and whatnot. It's definitely noticeable that it's different than games that are built from the ground up for the PlayStation 5. So it's just a matter of when they pull that cord. I hope they do it sooner than later. I mean, I'm speaking from a point of privilege that I have a PlayStation 5.
Right. We're all very fortunate individuals.
Very true.
Talking
Yeah.
from an entitled standpoint right
It's
now.
100% true. And maybe that would be a little bit different if they were readily available, and people can,
That could be part of it, too.
not in coronavirus times, people could afford it and whatnot. But I'm hoping that they do it sooner than later. So.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot sooner than later. This time around, because at least for the PlayStation 5, if they really want to keep, part of the marketing around the console was like, oh, we got this new controller that does all these new things, so on and so forth. And so you'd want to encourage your first party studios to really prioritize that new tech, because that's part of your console push. So I don't know.
100% right. So, a little bit of Hitman news. I kind of teased it earlier, but they had, as always, they're very honest about what's going on behind the curtain there. Right before launch here, a couple days before launch, they found a bug that is not allowing PC players the ability to play Hitman 1 and Hitman 2 levels within Hitman 3. They've been honest, like, hey, there's a problem. In big capital letters through their official Twitter account, this will be free content as long as you own the games. It's just not ready at launch. So Hitman 3 players on PC, you're not going to be able to play those first 2 games on there. But another little nugget that came out was, if you buy Hitman 3, you'll have 10 days to claim Hitman 1 Game of the Year edition if you don't already own it, which I imagine you probably would.
Wow.
On PC.
Oh.
So yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's just kind of one of those little bugs that come out right before launch. Of course, it's like, oh my god, kind of trip at the finish line there for the PC players, unfortunately. But they're hard at work.
Yeah, it'll be patched out in a week.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
nobody will care. And they just did the right thing. They were transparent and went straight to Twitter and let everybody know. Leading the way by managing expectations out front.
They were in the threads answering questions, open and honestly, like exactly what you want to see a studio do. So
then they're giving and then for really no reason at all, they're just gonna give away the Game of the Year of Hitman 1 to everybody on PC. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, god damn. That's why I bought the $70 some odd edition of that game this time.
That's the same one I bought. Speak with your
pay
wallet,
for all the DLC, because they're a good company to support, and that, like D, that's why I rebought No Man's Sky in digital as well.
That's right. You support the guys doing it right.
Right.
Yep. Apex. Now, Apex Legends Season 8 date has been released. It's going to come out February 2nd. There's going to be a new combatant named Fuse. I played very little of Apex, but I know you guys kind of dove in there a bit more than I did. Any interest in getting back into the old arena of Apex?
I haven't been super interested. I kind of got burnt out with Fortnite and Apex, and the whole battle royale thing was getting a little old. Because all you do is the same thing over and over and over and over. So
yeah.
Post Rocket League.
Yeah, that one's short at least. You're not spending 40 minutes in a battle royale mode.
So no on Apex U, no on Apex U2, would he?
I'll probably jump in and look at it. But
I would say the one thing that would get me to maybe try it out is my brother just got his PlayStation 5, and I know he plays it with a bunch of his homies apparently.
Jared has friends.
Apparently,
friends.
The homies.
Allegedly. The words we deserve.
Allegedly.
So Kickstarter campaign released for the new
hashtag same dick Jared.
What do you know about this Kickstarter campaign for the Game Boy?
I popped up.
Not a damn thing.
Oh, that was you, D? Oh,
yeah, it was on GameRant. So apparently, there's a studio, Green Boy Games, that's just out there raising money on Kickstarter to launch OG Game Boy games on the cartridge. So it's not.
How is Nintendo not stepped in? Nintendo sues everybody for everything.
I don't know. No idea. Otherwise, I actually didn't read into that part. My guess would be Nintendo probably didn't give a shit because they can't
Or next week we're going to be Nintendo found out about the Kickstarter campaign and
no, man,
sent them a cease and desist.
It said that they've already put out 2 previous games. So
wow,
Micro Doctor and Lunar Journey, and this Kickstarter. So the game has 3 chapters, and if he hits 21,000 euro, they'll do 5 instead, and at 40,000 they will port it to NES. So I just thought that was cool that there's a studio out there just doing old shit because they like old shit.
Right. That's cool.
So it's just a cool piece of news. All right. That's all I got.
Very, very cool. So, Woodsy, what you been smoking?
I this past week I did a couple of burgers on the grill. Nothing right home about. But for the game on Saturday, I don't know if you heard there was one.
Who played Saturday?
It was the Packers of Green Bay versus the Rams of Los Angeles.
Oh, and the Rams had the #1 defense, though, and they shut down the Pack, or what happened?
They did have the #1 defense, and it's past tense because they're not around anymore.
They're at home
So-
enjoying their #1 regular
Well, this
season.
this is not Raw Cuts Packers. We will say, go Pack, go.
It's true. And Jalen Ramsey couldn't cover Alan Lazard, much less
Zero time for
Devontae
Daniel.
Adams. So.
One day we'll do the Raw Cuts sport football, and you'll hear us wax poetic about the Packers and Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. But so, what did you smoke for that game, Woody?
I smoked me a bunch of wings and a wonderful Wisconsin aperitif. So I took beer brats that I had made, and you have had my beer brats, and you are understanding of how good they are. But I did a smoke on the beer brats first before I boiled them in some beer. And then what I did was I had also chopped up jalapenos and smoked those too on the smoker. And then I got little skewers and did like a big old fat yellow Wisconsin cheese curd on top with some jalapeno, and then brought it on the bottom, and then put them back on the smoker to just melt over the brat and the jalapeno. And then I took them off and put them on a plate, and people put them in their mouths, and they liked them.
Nice.
Not much to not like there.
Right. And then for my wings, I did 80 drummies and actual wings.
Holy shit.
So it was a lot.
We had a lot of people.
But they're together, right? But I didn't break them
Yeah,
apart.
yeah.
I figured fucking people would do that them damn selves. So I did a pretty good rub for them that I could never repeat again because I just stuff in a pot. And then I smoked them, and then for one of the sauces, I did my my clone of a sauce from a local place around here called the D Spot. It's their Muay Thai. So it's like a peanut butter sauce that is infused with, theirs has, I want to say curry. It's a peanut butter curry with sriracha and peanuts drizzle, crushed peanuts over the top. Mine was just an infusion of peanut butter, milk, and sriracha. And then I did a drizzle of sriracha and extra peanuts over the top. And then for the other one, it was just a store-bought, hot spicy Asian wing thing. And then So, but they were great. I loved them. Delicious. I'm going to do it again this weekend because fuck it.
Yeah, you should. And I
nice.
made a big ass bacon meatloaf. So,
Dude, how was that?
Oh, it's
Talk to me.
delicious, and there's lots of leftovers, man. So we had like 2 pounds of venison, a pound of ground beef, and then about a pound of Italian sausage, and then I crushed.
Hey, I think I got an errand.
Fritos.
I think I have an errand to run on your side of town tomorrow. You want to package me up a slice?
Well, yeah, you can get the ones out of my freezer because I froze.
All
them.
right.
Yeah. So I use Fritos for the binder. And then,
Whoa!
oh yeah, and then I made a bacon
That Aaron's
lattice.
coming tonight.
Yeah, so I did that thing where you weave the bacon together, and then I wrapped the meatloaf in that bitch. And then that smoked for like 3 hours, and then I opened up the little door and then crisped up all the bacon at the end after a bunch of the fat had rendered out, because then it doesn't start on fire, which is nice.
Yeah, it's important.
But no, that was great. Made chicken breasts tonight after I brined them for a while for chicken gyros. So smoked chicken on gyros
Oh, nice.
is pretty damn tasty too.
Just talk to me more about this meatloaf.
Dude, you should make it, dude. It's so easy. You just
I
make
know,
your
I really
meatloaf
should.
mix,
Actually,
you roll it in the bacon and you just put it on the grill. And I bought a non-stick baking rack, and so I actually had the meatloaf on that. And then I found at Costco had extra long tinfoil trays, like not the little ones. They had super long ones that'll fit a rack of ribs in it. And I just had that under, because I got the 2 levels, right? So I had the meatloaf up top, and then the sheet was underneath it to catch everything, so that it. So I'm trying to be better about letting shit run down the grease trap, because I'm really sick of fucking putty knifing the grease drain, the sheet over the flame.
Don't you wrap your grease tray? Yeah,
I'm just gonna catch all the grease now. To hell with it. I'm done with it.
Okay. All right.
I'll just catch all the grease.
Yeah, all right.
I like those tinfoil trays, man. Those are great. Just set that under your meat.
I like those too.
Yeah, no, they're good for that.
All right.
So, Woodsy, what is the update on your pile of shame? Now, you teased it a little bit earlier, but let's get into a little bit more here.
So there are a couple updates. One, I'll discuss Crash Team Racing here. And then secondly, the pile of shame has expanded.
Oh, wait a second. Let's go. Let's go.
So, not trying to bury the lead. So, being transparent. So, let's first discuss Crash Team Racing. Like it. I like it. And I can't say I love it, specifically because the only thing that bothers me about it is the controller options. They didn't like. There's 2 preset controller options, and one, and I think both of them were on the original, right? There's no like updated controller option or a customized controller option. And I would just like, every modern racing game that exists, right? Your fucking gas is your right trigger, your brake is your left trigger, handbrake is R1 or circle. You know, it just, that's the setup. Change view is triangle, and then, you know, I could have shot my item or my missile or used my item use could have been L1 or whatever, right? So that the control scheme that it's not like modernized or has the option to be modernized. Obviously, you'd want to include the old school option as a control scheme. I get that, but that they didn't modernize it or have the option to do that is just odd. Otherwise, I really like it so far. It's just it's fun. It's fun to play kart racer again. So
how's the multiplayer on there? Do you have to like? Can you play like?
I haven't hopped in yet. I've just been doing the single player campaigns. I'm concerned about things.
Can you do co-op? Couch. Your ass. Can you do couch co-op with that game?
Yeah, I do believe you can.
Can you do couch co-op online? If that makes any sense. Can you play like just you?
I wonder.
And, you and me.
I
and
would bet you
together?
probably could.
I don't want to play with a bunch of cholos, you know, but I want to play with y'all. So.
Yeah. No, I think. No, yeah, no. I mean, there's online multiplayer in it.
Yeah, I just don't want to
play general, but like you could probably like if Hannah wanted to play with you, also playing versus us. I think that's
even if it's just like us 3, you know, and then like then the computers, you know, like you.
Oh right.
Don't want to play.
That I don't know. I'll have to check it out.
You know, couch co-op is just you and.
Well, we got to set up a date. We'll set up a date. Thursday would be good. Well,
Thursday. Okay.
Date on Thursday, D? We'll CTR Thursday night?
Yeah, sure.
Rockcuts Gaming, Crash Team Racing.
That's fine. I'll buy it.
Hey, fuck you. Hashtag fuck you, Ryan. Thursday night.
Ryan.
True, Ryan, fucking bastard.
Hashtag our friend Ryan.
We love you.
God, worst.
So, pile of shame growth.
Yeah, well, So, one thing I've been planning on selling my PlayStation 4 Pro. I still haven't done it, and now that apparently it's more valuable because they're not making them anymore, I am gonna try to get. I'm trying now to get on it and sell it, but I wanted to figure out. Okay, I am also trying to digitize my physical catalog. And so obviously a lot of games are on sale this week. So I went through and, I asked some friends of mine if they would like to purchase any games. So I had friends take Ace Combat, No Man's Sky, Dark Souls 2 and 3, a whole number of games that either A, I have already owned, I digitized myself previously, and I own the physical and the digital already and just sold off the physical. And I was selling them for like $5 or $10, depending upon what game they were. So I sold a bunch of them, and so I rebought some. And then in addition, I did spend some cheddar. So I went ahead and I rebought on digital We Happy Few, Doom, No Man's Sky, Jedi Fallen Order, Ace Combat 7, and Blood and Truth. And then I bought Overwatch, Sniper Elite 2, My Friend Pedro, which I am actually really excited to play. This game called Door Kickers Action Squad, Next Up Hero, and Golazo. Bunch of like mostly arcadey titles. So, yeah, that's what I did.
Very nice. I like that you're going. So you think you're going to sell your PS4? Are you looking to do it on like eBay, or what do you think about? How do you think about hawking that pig?
I've thought about eBay, but I think I'm going to try Facebook Marketplace first.
Yeah, good call. I like that.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, let me know how it goes because I have a PlayStation 4 currently gathering dust. I had this great visions of having it upstairs and letting the kids run with it, but at this point, I don't want them to play the PS5 and be like, "Whoa!" What is
as the Jordan meme so says, "Fuck them kids."
They're booting me off the PS5 now to play Astrobot. So, let me know how that goes. And then I just have the OG PS4, so I'll probably get way less. But it's just a paperweight right now. So,
right. Plus, it's a good excuse to like bundle it with all the physical games you are trying to get rid of.
So I can rebuy them on digital.
Right.
Because I don't digital. So D was on the train earlier there. He's spot on there. So
Trailblazer, baby.
So with that being said, that concludes our 27th episode of the Raw Cuts Gaming Podcast. We thank you, the listener, for tuning in for all of our uncut takes in all things video games. We hope you join us each and every week for more Raw Cuts Gaming. If you'd like to be part of the conversation or tell us how much you hate us, we definitely encourage you to reach out, get a hold of us on Twitter at Raw Cuts Gaming. If you want to watch a podcast on YouTube, check us out there, Raw Cuts Gaming channel. The Twitter or the Twitches, Raw Cuts Gaming, and also, as always, you can reach us on email at rawcutsgaming@gmail.com.
Good job. That's a mouthful.
That's what she said. If you want to get a hold of you, where's the best place to do so?
Twitter, Naked Gamer 84, and on the Twitcher machines at noob with the zeros _ Naked Gamer.
Woods, if people want to hear your hot takes, your Twitter beef makes, where's the best place to get a hold of you?
You find me at Woods _ _Wads with a Z, or at Raw Cuts Gaming on Twitch, where we will be Thursday evening at some time to be determined later.
Check out the tweets for
trying to do some squad goal team play, little Raw Cuts action, and how about you, CJ? Where can the homies find you at?
If you want to find me, your resident trophy hunting host, you can find me on Twitter at CJ Reindl. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Hey. And shout out to my homies. Shout out to all my homies. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Go. Or the
Go
little
Pack
Wayne
Out.
song.
We will be talking to you with our special Super Bowl edition next week, Monday.
God willing.
Peace.
Peace.